All right, I get this question a lot. People asking me a question like, how will I come to Canada in the year 2024, especially with this new rule about international students? And that's why I deem it fit and I decided to make a research on the numerous pathways in which you can come to Canada in the year 2024. Some of these pathways you already know about, some of them you do not know. But hang on tight, stay tuned. I'll be telling you the numerous pathways for you to migrate into Canada in the year 2024. Alright viewers, so welcome to my YouTube channel. I still remember my humble self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality, where I dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that had the aspiration to migrate into Canada. Is this your first time on this YouTube channel? Please do me the honor, hit on the likes button, turn on the notification bell, and if you haven't subscribed, please endeavor to subscribe because I dish out nice content on this platform. All right, so as I earlier stated that in this video I'll be telling you about the numerous pathways for you to come into Canada apart from study in the year 2024. So let's kickstart. So the first one I'll be telling you about will be the express entry. Some of you already know about the express entry. Under the express entry, we have the federal skilled worker, federal skilled trade, and Canadian experience class. So it's the express entry was created sometimes in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. It's point based and it's based on human capital factor, based on your age, your educational background, and some other factors, your English test and some other factors. So all you have to do is you put all this information, create a profile for yourself, and put all this information online, and they do draws like intermittently. Once you are chosen, you're being invited to apply. Once you apply and everything goes well, within 6 months you'll be issued your permanent resident and you'll be in Canada. It's a very seamless way. Sometimes it can be cumbersome for those that are a little bit aged and also those that don't have strong educational qualification or good test of English, but it's worth exploring, especially if you are young and you have good educational qualification with experience. You might want to look at the express entry. Next on my list will be Provincial Nominee. Provincial Nominee, I mean, some of you already know about it. In Canada, we have 10 provinces and 3 territories, and virtually all of them run this Provincial Nominee program. So, but some of them are more relaxed than the others. Some of them are very rigid to get, while some of them are a little bit liberal. So I want to tell you that you should look into these 10 provinces and 3 territories. Look at their Provincial Nominee. Some of them are tied to the express entry, while some of them are independent of the express entry. So what I will tell you is that take your time, go to IRS's website, go to all these provincial nominee, go to their website and research for yourself and see which one is a little bit more accommodating for you based on your requirement, based on what you have, and apply for them, because that could be another avenue. Instead of coming into Canada to come and spend huge tuition fee as an international student, that could be an easy way for you to migrate into Canada. Next on my list will be Agri pilot program. Agri pilot program was started, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, and the Agri pilot food pilot program was created to help boost the agricultural sector, because majority of people that come into Canada want to work the white collar job. Nobody wants to work on a farm, and there are a lot of potential. There are so many job opportunities in that field, and that's why RLCC created this Agri food pilot program to encourage people to actually come into Canada via this route. All you have to do is to apply for jobs on their website, submit your resume, and if they deem you fit, they do a virtual interview for you, and they will be the one to sponsor you. But you have to do English test or test of English too, but the requirement score is not really high. I think 4 or 5 CLB, I can't really remember, but you can actually read for yourself. But this is a way for you to come into Canada, especially if you have background in terms of education and in terms of experience in the agricultural sector. All right, so the next pathway that I'll be telling you about will be the family class sponsorships. Family class sponsorship is geared towards if you're already in Canada and your family is back home, either your spouse is back home, your parents are back home, your grandparents are back home, your kids are back home, your partner is back home. This is an avenue for you to sponsor your family into Canada. So it's actually a way of Canada saying they want to reunite families instead of dividing them. So if you fall into this category of having your partner back home, your parents back home, your kids back home, I think for the kids there's an age limitation. He or she must not be more than 21 or 22 years old. I can't really confirm, but there's a restriction in terms of age for you to do for your child. But you can actually sponsor them to come and join you in Canada. So if you want to learn more about this, you're in Canada, you can actually read more about it online. You might not really be able to do for your siblings, but for your parents, your grandparents, your child, and for your spouse, it is actually possible for you to sponsor them through the family class sponsorship. Next on my list will now be the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. This is a pilot program that was created some few years back by provinces in the Atlantic region like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, all those provinces in those Atlantic areas. So it's a way of trying to bring more people to come into that into those provinces rather. So it's created, and all you have to do is you need to get an employment from an employer based in those Atlantic region. You need to get your English test done, the CLB. I can't really confirm, but it's not so huge, but it's something it's worth looking at. I know some few people of my friends that are in the Atlantic region and they came into Canada via this Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. So what I will tell you is that please endeavor to go online, type in on Google Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, where you can actually research for yourself, read more for yourself, and see how you actually fit in into this particular program, because that could be an avenue for you to come into Canada in the year 2024. I can tell you of the truth that so many people are not looking at this direction because they feel that it's cumbersome, that they feel that the requirement is much, but it's only when you try it you know that it is easy. Another pathway that I would like to share with you will be the Caregiver Pathway. The Caregiver Pathway, all it's simply saying is that if you have experience as a caregiver, taking care of the elderly, the aged, the sick, the kids, if you have that experience and you can prove that with documentation based on your work experience or your qualification in terms of education, this is what you're looking at. All you have to do is go Google it on the RSSO website, apply for jobs in this sector. If an employer deems you fit, they are ready to do the documentation for you. And when you come into Canada, you become a caregiver. Before you know it, you're a permanent resident and eventually a Canadian citizen, all because you are doing what you love. You're taking care of people. So that's another pathway that you can use to migrate into Canada. I want to employ you on RSSO website. Google it. I'll be dropping the link in the description below, and you can actually see for yourself. I hope you actually enjoyed the video thus far. If you do, please smash on the likes because it helps the algorithm to share a video with more people. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? I mean, as a return or a new person on this channel, hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you will always be among the first to get it. And don't forget to share our video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. Next on my list will be the startup visa. Startup visa, are you a big boy? You have money, the money is there. You have a growing a thriving business outside Canada and you want to replicate the same business in Canada. I mean, Canada is going to give you a permanent resident because you want to start a business in Canada. So if you want to read more about this, because I know every province, they have their criteria, they have their requirements, irrespective of the province that you want to come to replicate your business, go on RSSO website, read more about the startup visa, because it's going to, at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win for you because you're making profits in Canada and likewise you have your Canadian citizenship. Next on my list will be RNIP, Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. I mean, I remember when this program was started a few years back. I mean, 12 or 15 communities in the rural areas all across the provinces of Canada and territories of Canada, they came together agitating that they want more immigrants to come into their communities, because they discovered that majority of people that come into Canada, they go to the cities. They want to roll with the big boys, while the rural areas have been neglected. So I remember Timmy, Sudbury, I remember Sozo Moray. Some of these communities, they came together and IRCC, they actually create this particular stream, a particular program for them, so that people can actually employer post jobs on this website of these communities, and you can actually apply based on whatever experience you have. They look for nurses, they look for lawyers, they look for supply chain, whichever sector you want to apply. They're always looking for people. You apply to that community. Once they deem it fit, it's okay. They do the interview for you. The committee is going to sponsor you, and before you know it, you are in Canada seamlessly. It is that easy. I mean, you have to go on RSSO website where you can actually read more for yourself and about the requirement. But I can tell you of the truth that it is not so stringent. You can actually do it if you are determined, you have the experience, and you can prove that with documentation. It's possible for you to be in Canada in the year 2024. Some other pathways that I feel are also worth knowing will be the refugee asylum. So if you feel that your life is under stress, you're being traumatized, so you're facing one difficulty or the other in your country, Canada welcome refugee claimants, asylum seekers into Canada. This is a pathway for you to actually use to come into Canada but you need to make sure that you have everything right. I mean, you speak to a lawyer and everything is okay and you're sure about this pathway. Canada's do also welcome asylum seekers into Canada. The Economic Mobility Pilot Program is also another avenue for you to explore. If you want to come into Canada, you can actually read more about it online on IRCC website. See how you qualify. So that one is more about economic history, streamlined to some few countries, I guess. But if you have work experience, you can transfer that into Canada. And likewise, for the francophone speakers, the French speakers, there's a stream pathway for the francophone immigration program for them to come into Canada if you have experience. And also there's also this Quebec skilled pathway for those that want to go to Quebec, but that's just streamlined to Quebec only. So these and lots more are some of the pathways that you can actually look at if you intend to come into Canada in the year 2024. If you feel I've missed out any pathway that I didn't talk about, feel free to drop it in the comment section. If you have any question you want to ask me to clarify, drop it in the comment section. But I will implore you to look at some of the videos that I've done about some of these pathways that I've mentioned. And likewise, I will also say go to IRCC website where you can actually read more for yourself about this pathway and how you can apply for them. But of the truth, I can tell you that it's not just coming as an international student only that you can be in Canada. It's not just coming on a work visa, which is very hard to get anyway, that you can come into Canada. Some of the ways that I've mentioned here: Express Entry, Provincial Nominee, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, Agri Food Pilot Program, Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program, Caregiver, Startup Visa, Refugee. These are some of the ways that you can use to come into Canada in the year 2024. All you need to do is just take up the challenge, you research about it. Definitely there's one or two that you actually qualify for. It's just that you're being lazy. Just kickstart now. It's too early in the year. We're just in February. And before you know it, you're in Canada before the end of the year 2024. All right. Do you enjoy this video? Please smash on the likes button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification so that anytime I drop a video, you will always be among the first to get it. And likewise too, endeavor to share a video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. Till I come back to you again, still on this channel, Canada Reality. I still remain my humble self, MC Bernardino. What do I know? I'm just a YouTuber.